Imagine Europe as a giant dinner party. Now imagine the guests throwing food at each other for 30 years straight. That's the 30 Years' War in a nutshell, messy, chaotic, and with lasting consequences. Except instead of mashed potatoes and gravy, we're talking about armies, religion, and political power. From 1618 to 1648, Europe descended into one of the most destructive conflicts in human history. This wasn't just some local squabble, mind you. This was a continental free-for-all. Almost every major European power got involved. It was a chaotic mix of alliances, betrayals, and enough bloodshed to make even the most hardened general squirm. So buckle up, space cadets, as we journey back in time to explore this fascinating and often overlooked chapter in human history. To understand the 30 Years' War, we need to rewind a bit. Picture Europe in the 17th century, a continent simmering with religious tension. The Protestant Reformation had shaken things up, leaving Catholics and Protestants vying for power. The Holy Roman Empire, a patchwork of states under an emperor, was a powder keg waiting to explode. Add to that a dash of political ambition, territorial disputes, and you've got a recipe for disaster. Imagine a room full of people with different beliefs, all crammed together and told to get along. Now, throw in some sharp objects and a healthy dose of paranoia. You get the idea. Tension was high, trust was low. All it took was a spark to ignite the inferno. That spark came in 1618 in a place called Bohemia, modern-day Czech Republic. The Habsburg Emperor, Ferdinand II, a devout Catholic, tried to impose his faith on his Protestant subjects. Bad move, Ferdinand. The Protestants, understandably upset, decided to take matters into their own hands. They defenestrated a few of Ferdinand's Catholic officials, tossing them out of a window in Prague Castle. Now, defenestration might sound like a quirky historical footnote, but it was a pretty big deal back then. It was a direct challenge to the emperor's authority and the spark that lit the fuse of war. The Bohemian Revolt escalated quickly, drawing in other Protestant states and their allies. Before you could say Holy Roman Empire, Europe was engulfed in a massive conflict. The early years of the war saw the Catholic forces, led by the Habsburgs, gain the upper hand. Their dominance seemed unshakable as they won battle after battle, pushing the Protestant forces to the brink of despair. Protestant hopes seemed to be fading faster than a comet's tail, with each defeat further dimming their prospects. Enter Gustavus Adolphus, the King of Sweden and a military genius. His arrival was like a beacon of hope for the beleaguered Protestants. With his innovative tactics and well-trained army, he swept through Europe like a Scandinavian whirlwind. His strategies were revolutionary, and his troops were disciplined and highly motivated. He was basically the Elon Musk of 17th century warfare, always thinking ahead and pushing the boundaries of military science. Gustavus scored a string of victories, turning the tide of the war in favor of the Protestants. His success was not just in winning battles, but in inspiring a renewed sense of purpose among his allies. He became a legend, known as the Lion of the North for his ferocity and military prowess. His name struck fear into the hearts of his enemies and rallied his troops to fight with unparalleled courage. Unfortunately, like a supernova, Gustavus's brilliance was short-lived. His untimely death was a devastating blow to the Protestant cause. He died in battle in 1632, leaving a void in the Protestant leadership that was hard to fill. His loss was felt deeply by his soldiers and allies alike, but his impact on the war was undeniable. His strategies and victories had already shifted the balance of power. He had shown that the Habsburgs were not invincible, and his legacy continued to inspire the Protestant forces long after his death. Section 5. France changes sides, the plot thickens. Now, you might think that the Catholic French would have sided with their fellow Catholics, the Habsburgs, but international relations are rarely that simple. France, under the shrewd Cardinal Richelieu, saw an opportunity. Richelieu cared more about weakening the Habsburgs, their rivals for European dominance, than about religious solidarity. So France threw its weight behind the Protestants, providing them with money and military support. Imagine a cosmic dance with planets constantly shifting their orbits. That's what the 30 Years' War was like, with alliances constantly in flux. It was a complex web of shifting loyalties, making Game of Thrones look like a kindergarten playdate. The French intervention was a game changer. It prolonged the war and transformed it from a primarily religious conflict into a struggle for political power. Section 6. Mayhem and Misery, the Costs of War. The 30 Years' War wasn't just about kings and queens playing chess with their armies. It was a human tragedy of unimaginable proportions and suffering. Imagine the worst natural disaster you can think of, then multiply it by 30 times. Armies marched back and forth across Europe, leaving a trail of widespread destruction in their wake. Villages were burned, crops were destroyed, and entire populations were decimated by famine and disease. It's estimated that up to 8 million people died during the conflict, a staggering number considering the smaller population of Europe at the time. The war left scars on the continent, both physical and psychological, that took generations to heal completely. Section 7. Hidden Histories, Tales from the Trenches. Behind the grand narratives of battles and treaties lie countless individual stories, often lost to the mists of time. These stories, though often overshadowed by the larger events, provide a deeply personal perspective on the human cost of war. These are the stories of ordinary people caught in the crossfire of a war they didn't ask for. Their lives were forever changed by the chaos and destruction that surrounded them. Take the story of Peter Hagendorf, a German mercenary who fought on both sides of the conflict. His journey through the war is a testament to the complex allegiances and shifting loyalties of the time. He left behind a diary, a rare first-hand account of life and death on the front lines. This diary offers a window into the daily struggles and fleeting moments of camaraderie among soldiers. Hagendorf's diary paints a vivid picture of the hardships endured by soldiers, the constant hunger, the ever-present threat of disease, and the brutal reality of combat. It also reveals the small acts of kindness and humanity that persisted amidst the horror. It's a reminder that even in the darkest of times, human resilience can shine through. The strength and determination of individuals like Hagendorf are a testament to the enduring human spirit. Then there's the story of Katharina Stopes, a woman who disguised herself as a man to fight in the war. Her courage and determination to serve in a male-dominated world are truly remarkable. She served as a soldier for years before her true identity was discovered. Her story is a powerful example of the lengths to which individuals went to participate in the conflict. Her story challenges our assumptions about gender roles and highlights the extraordinary lengths people went to during this turbulent period. It serves as a poignant reminder of the diverse and often overlooked contributions of women in history. Section 8. Peace at Last, Sort of. The Treaty of Westphalia. By the 1640s, everyone was exhausted. The war had dragged on for 3 decades, leaving Europe a shattered and depleted continent. It was time to negotiate a way out of this cosmic mess. The result was the Peace of Westphalia, a series of treaties signed in 1648 that finally brought the 30 Years' War to an end. It was a landmark agreement, reshaping the political map of Europe and establishing a new international order. The treaties recognized the independence of the Dutch Republic and Switzerland, weakening the Habsburg grip on power. They also granted greater religious freedom within the Holy Roman Empire, acknowledging the right of princes to choose their own faith. Section 9. A Changed Europe, the Legacy of Conflict. The 30 Years' War was a turning point in European history. It marked the end of an era dominated by religious conflict and ushered in a new age of realpolitik, where power and national interest trumped religious zeal. The war also had a profound impact on the development of military technology and tactics. The use of firearms became more widespread, leading to larger armies and more destructive warfare. But perhaps the most enduring legacy of the war was its impact on the concept of the nation-state. The Peace of Westphalia recognized the sovereignty of states and their right to exist without interference from external powers. This paved the way for the modern system of nation-states that we know today. Section 10. Conclusion. Lessons from a Land Aflame. The 30 Years' War may seem like a distant and obscure event, but its echoes can still be felt today, resonating through the corridors of time. It reminds us of the dangers of intolerance, the human cost of conflict, and the importance of diplomacy in a world often teetering on the brink. The war's devastation was immense, affecting millions and reshaping the continent. As we grapple with the challenges of our own time, from religious extremism to geopolitical tensions, we can learn valuable lessons from this tumultuous period in human history. The 30 Years' War teaches us that understanding and cooperation are crucial for lasting peace. The 30 Years' War serves as a stark reminder that even in the depths of despair, hope for a more peaceful future can emerge from the ashes of conflict. The resilience of the human spirit is a powerful force. Like the vast expanse of space itself, history is full of wonders, horrors, and lessons waiting to be discovered. Each event, no matter how distant, holds a mirror to our present and future. So the next time you gaze up at the stars, remember the 30 Years' War, a reminder that even in the darkest of nights, the human spirit, like a distant star, continues to shine. It is a testament to our enduring quest for peace and understanding.